Going on, my beautiful people? What's going on? Welcome to the live stream. It's me, Emilio Duran, better known as Emilio Gambino. It is December 27, 2025. We will be in the new year in a couple of days, so get ready. Turn the page. It's a new chapter to make new money, to be more successful, and to be the best version of ourselves. Now, round of applause to Dave Chappelle. Round of applause to Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle is top 5 comedians of all time. That's right, I said all time for me. All right. Dave Chappelle is one of the GOATs. He's funny. He's serious. He has compassion. He's petty. He's smart. He's witty. He don't give a fuck. And he's one of the GOATs. All right. So if you don't know, he has a new, not show, but a new stand-up. All right. It's out there on Netflix. Shout out to Netflix. Shout out to Netflix. Hopefully y'all bounce back because right now y'all numbers, y'all stock. I had to sell. But anyway, Chappelle fam, I mean, he's one of the GOATs. So yesterday, Simbi was like, yo, let's watch the new Dave Chappelle stand-up, The Unstoppable N-Word. I said, okay, we're gonna watch The Unstoppable N-Word. Because I like Dave Chappelle. So he comes out there, he got the Kaepernick camouflage jersey type jacket on. Real fly. I like that. I like that. Real fly. For real, for real. It was fly, man. He had on some big jeans. I noticed those are coming back into style, the big baggy type jeans. And then he had on the Alexander McQueens. Shout out to the Alexander McQueens. I got me a pair. I need another pair. So he came out pretty fly, you know what I'm saying? And smoking a cigarette and all that. And I noticed the Coliseum. Yo, it was huge, the Coliseum or the stadium he was in. It was huge, man. All right. And he went in, y'all. He went in. He talked about a lot of things. He talked about Trump. He talked about Charlie Kirk. He talked about Puff. He talked about Jimmy Kimmel, Elon Musk. He talked about Saudi Arabia. He talked about so many things, man. So many things. And he was in Washington, D.C. Shout out to Washington, D.C. That's where he's from. I didn't know he was from Washington, D.C. So he's from Washington, D.C. He lives in Ohio. He even talked about Ohio, how he lives in Ohio and he's buying up majority of the town. And the locals is like, yo, you buying up all the town and shit. And he talked about that. That was pretty funny. And since he's buying up the town, a lot of people that live there come to him and ask him to make changes and shit like that, even though he just buying shit. You know what I'm saying? He's not the actual person that's in charge of the city, but I guess since he's buying up everything, they're like, yo, Dave, can you know, What's up with the prices of milk and why the streets ain't like he ain't buying the streets. um, but one of the things that really stood out, he was talking about freedom of speech. And we so-called have freedom of speech in the United States of America, right? But it's not so free, is it? Because you say something and they will cancel you. Who's they? The masses. They will cancel you. If majority of people do not like what you say, you will get canceled. They will try to take your money. They will try to end your life, unfortunately. All right? People say a lot of things that people don't agree with. And people say a lot of things that people do agree with. All right. So Chappelle talked about Charlie Kirk, right? And he said, don't quote me now, but he was like, he didn't understand why he was being compared, Charlie Kirk, to Martin Luther King. Now, I don't compare them at all. I would compare Charlie Kirk to Malcolm X. I think that's a decent comparison. Both men believed in certain things, religion strong. Both men had wives. Both men had children. Both men got killed behind their words. Both men got killed by the same color of people that they are. And I mean, I don't see nothing wrong with that. And I know a lot of people will push back because they'll say, well, Charlie Kirk don't like black people. Okay. If a person doesn't like a certain people, right? They don't like them. So if he don't like black people and I'm a black person, and if someone says, but Charlie Kirk don't like you because you black, and I'll sit back and I'll say, well, why he doesn't like black people? And then I listen to him, and then if some of the stuff he say has some facts behind it, then I could honestly say, well, damn, I could understand why he don't like black people. See, because I'm logical like that. I'm not ignorant and I'm not emotional. I could understand it. Because there's black people I don't like. Does that make sense? So, you know, Dave Chappelle talked about Charlie. I don't really think he rocked with Charlie Kirk, and that's okay. He could rock with whoever he rocks with. I still think he's a funny individual, but I like Charlie Kirk. I like what he talked about. I liked what he stood for, even if it's some of the information that he was talking about was making or highlighting people who look like me in a negative way. Well, stop being negative. So then he talked about when he was in Saudi Arabia, he was more free with his words, and he liked that. And he talked about the transgender community, how 2 years ago they tried to cancel him over here, but over there in Saudi Arabia, you could talk about him. Because I don't think, don't quote me now, I don't think in Saudi Arabia they rock with that type of foolishness. You know, if you a boy, you a boy. You a girl, you a girl. That funny shit, no disrespect, but that mental ill type shit, your feelings and all that, and you know, I feel like a girl, so I'm gonna cut my penis off. They don't play that type of nonsense over there. You know, they real. They don't play. But they want him over there. There's a lot of rich, powerful kings, Arabs over there. He went over there. He was talking, and from the pictures that he put at the end of his show, which I like about that, he put pictures and videos at the end of his show about everything he talked about, and you saw Arab people laughing, Saudi, they laughing, kiki, ha ha. He was at the show, and apparently they liked his jokes. And he said he had a falcon on his arm, and he showed the picture of the falcon was on his arm. So a lot of the things, damn near like 99% of the stuff he joke about, it be on some real true shit that he feels, he believes, he been through, factual. And that's why Chappelle is one of the GOATs. All right. Because he talks about real life issues and then he makes fun and he highlights certain things. So at the end of the show, you're laughing, you're learning, you observe different things, and it makes you think, man. It makes you be like, I never thought about that point before. You know, he talked about the president in this way. I never thought about it in this way. I always thought Trump was this way. You know what I mean? It makes you think. So shout out to Chappelle. The show is great. Um, you know, more to me now as he's gotten older, he's more serious. What I mean by that, the younger Chappelle was a little bit more silly, a little bit more goofy, maybe animated, but now he's older. So the jokes are funny still, but like I said, it's about real life issues, freedom of speech, Charlie Kirk, Martin Luther King. He talked about when he was chilling with T.I. He was talked about Nipsey Hussle, all these different people. And I'm not saying people can't change because Nipsey gets celebrated and the way he had his life taken from him is terrible. It really is terrible. But the unfortunate thing is that when you come from the hood and come from the streets, you gotta leave that shit alone. And he still wanted to be affiliated with that, rapping, still going to the hood, opening up stores in the hood in the streets. Niggas ain't fucking with you, dog. See what I'm saying? You got a couple of people that do, and then you got people who don't like you, dog, because you got money, you got fame, you got status. And they don't like you because they don't got it. And how dare you still come around here? You showing off. That's what they feel. And they gonna take you out. I'll never go back to the hood, B. Never. And people like, well, you a sellout. Fuck it. I'll sell out then. Sell out to what? The place that I was trying to leave in the first place? That's why I joined the army. Why am I going back for? Right? If I do go back, it will be a quick drive through. I'd be in my rental and I say, yeah, babe, I used to live right there. Look at it. Damn. Memories. All right. That's it. I'm not chilling there. I'm not opening stores there. I ain't doing none of that. And then the people be like, well, you're not giving back to your community. You're not trying to uplift people. I guess not. I guess not. Because my life and my situation is more important to me than any other situation. Is that a little bit selfish? It probably is. But I'm a selfish person. And I think most people are selfish. All right? If you don't agree with it, that's fine. But I'm transparent enough And I'm more honest with myself to say, I'm a selfish person. I can admit it. And I'm cool with it. So people say, you selfish. Hell yeah, fuck it. So he talked about Nipsey, T.I., his experiences, driving through the A back in his younger days. Um, like I said, he just talked about a lot of stuff, man. He did. Great show. Shout out to Dave. Thumbs up on it. Very smart guy. Very. I just like how he presents himself. He seems very authentic. I could see that. I feel it. You know. I try to my best to relate to that, to be as authentic as possible. Don't get me wrong. We try our best 90% of the time, but I believe 10% of the time, people, we tuck things in the closet, we hide stuff under the carpet, because not everybody needs to know everything. That's that's 1,000. Some shit you just gonna have to take to the grave with you. I believe that. But overall, great show. I love it. Y'all need to go watch it. Um, I believe it's number one. It took the number one spot over the Puffy documentaries. But yeah, those are my thoughts, man. Great work by the GOAT. He's in my top five. Dave Chappelle, The Unstoppable N Word. Please go watch it. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment. Let me know what y'all thought of the show. Peace.